You would be utterly ruined if you took up the reins at a sanctioned race. Mind you, I knew you were a woman from 50 paces, and you were riding around the track like hellfire at the time. I didna say in a sanctioned race. I'm ready to pit Poseidon against another jockey on Sunday, if Mr. Willett can find someone who will keep him home, and I forbid it! You cannot trust some jockey to hold his tongue about racing against the Duke's sister. Besides, you have 3 stitches in your back. Whisht! A fire ignited in her ladyship's eyes as she vehemently shook her finger beneath his nose. First of all, you have absolutely no right to tell me what I can and cannot do. My back is healing thanks to Randolph. I'll be set to rights by Sunday. And furthermore, afore you rudely interrupted me, I was going to suggest we pit Poseidon against Venom, and that way he'll be there when we talk about Crocky. And since Venom was bested by Crocky's horse, it is perfectly logical for you to pose such a question. Kenneth blinked. How the blazes could he argue with the imp? True, it was logical for him to give Venom a run. However, it makes no sense whatsoever for a viscount to agree to a race with a young lady. No one kens I'm a woman. Mr. Willett certainly does. Aye, but he doesn't care. I assure you, he will care if we tell him we've agreed to race. He'll assume I've taken advantage of you. Balderdash! She removed one of her gloves and thwacked his knee with it. We can tell the truth, you numpty. We'll say you recognised me at the ball, and I suggested you pit Venom against Poseidon, and we agreed to meet at the track. Easy peasy. Had the lady been a man, Kenneth would have taken offence to being struck by her glove, but it was all he could do not to laugh aloud. Good heavens, Lady Modesty had a backbone. Whoa! Hollered the driver from his perch while the brake engaged, unseating her ladyship. She shrieked as she hurled across the gap, landing awkwardly onto Kenneth's lap. His arms flew around the woman, protecting her from harm. Are you hurt? Is your back awfully sore? He asked. The driver cued the team to walk on. Sorry, my lord. We nearly went head-on with a phaeton that lost its driver. Carry on, Kenneth replied, before looking down and rephrasing his question. Are you unharmed, my lady? Are your stitches still intact? Not replying, Modesty met his gaze, then those blessed blues trailed to his mouth. She asked, running her teeth over her bottom lip. Ye gods, the woman was magnificent. How did he ever think her merely cute? Simply her heavy-lidded blink stole the breath from his lungs. Lady Modesty was intelligent and caring, and ever so eager to help, when everyone else had told him he was a fool for thinking Alfred's death was not from natural causes. The woman had no fear of danger, and faced it like a warrior woman dressed in rose-gold armor. But she was too cavalier in her fearlessness, with no idea of how vulnerable she actually was. She smiled endearingly, the freckles across the bridge of her nose further captivating him. She brushed an errant curl away from her face as he slowly inclined his lips toward hers. His eyes closed when he lingered, kissing her gently, only intending to give a small peck. Yes, that was it. A peck to show her his concern for being flung across the carriage and landing sprawled atop his lap. He kept his arms tightly around her, his hand caressing her lower back where there were no stitches. Then the lady slid her hands around his neck, emitting a womanly moan. Utterly undone, Kenneth asked permission to enter her mouth by stroking the parting of her lips with his tongue. As she yielded to him, the sweet remnants of a sticky bun rendered him mindless. All concept of time vanished as he indulged in her softness, her sensuality, her unignorable allure.